Hi, I'm Jane Savoie. Many of you know that I do a monthly newsletter, and even though I'm a technophobe, I've decided that I'm going to try something with technology, just a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But rather than doing my newsletter as something you can read, I'm going to do a video newsletter. And so for the next 2 months, I'm going to talk about the concept of forward. Now, there are many shades to the meaning of the word forward, and most people understand that forward means a direction. You go forward over the ground as opposed to going sideways, or the horse can step forward under the body toward your hand with the hind legs as opposed to pushing backwards with the hind legs. But here's what I want you to think about. Before you even consider forward in a physical sense, I want you to think that your horse must be mentally forward. He has to be thinking forward. And there are actually 2 parts to the horse thinking forward. And in this video, we're going to talk about the first aspect of going forward. But this is what I mean by I'm not 100% high tech. I made this for you. So, the 2 aspects, this one we're going to talk about today, is responsibility. And then the next time I see you, we're going to talk about reactivity. So just for today, we're going to talk about responsibility. In other words, it's not your job to keep your horse going. Once you've told him how fast or how slowly to go, he should maintain that degree of activity until you tell him to do something different. So you might say, well, why would I decide to go slower or faster? Well, if you have a tense horse, you might want to ride him a little bit slower, sub-power. If you have a lazy horse, you might want to ride him over his tempo to wake him up a little bit. But whatever you decide, faster or slower, once you have put the horse in that degree of energy, it's his job to maintain that power, not your job. Because if you use your legs or your seat or your whip to keep him going, then basically you run out of you. There's no more availability of the driving aids to say to your horse, okay, now go sideways, or now do an extended trot, because you've used yourself up, you've used all your aids just keeping your horse going. So we have to raise the bar and have a new set of rules for the horse, which is, once I've told you how fast or how slowly to go, you maintain that all by yourself with no help from me. So first I want you to do a little experiment, and you'll see in the video exactly what I mean by that. Let's start in the walk, any old way you can. If you have to kick a little bit or use your whip at this point, that's fine. But I want you to get a marching, energetic walk, like you're walking out in the country enthusiastically. Then actually take your legs completely away from the horse's side. Now, I don't want you to ride with your legs off the horse's sides, but I want to be sure that you're not unconsciously spurring or closing your legs to encourage your horse to go forward. So get that marching walk, take your legs off. This is just an information gathering exercise, and see how long it takes your horse to either slow down or to stop completely. That'll give you a pretty good idea of how much you've been helping your horse maintain his energy in the gait, because he should keep going at the same speed with your legs completely off. Now, if he does stall out or slow down, what I want you to do is make a correction. I want you to, and I'll explain about correction a little bit more, but I want you to make a correction that sends him into the next gait. Then come back to whatever gait you were in, take your legs away, and every stride he takes under his own power, I want you to say, good boy, or good girl. Or if he knows the words walk, trot, and canter, good walk. Good walk. And then as soon as he cheats a little bit and slows down, boom, 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 you make the correction, chase the horse into the next gait, come back to whatever gait you were in, legs away, and praise your horse. Now, I want to make a point about correction. Correction has to suit the personality, the temperament, the character of the horse, because your goal is not to terrorize your horse. Your goal is to educate. So for a hot thoroughbred off the track, a little boom boom is going to be enough to chase him into the next gate. For a lazier or older warm blood, let's say, you might have to go boom, boom, boom like that and tap, tap, tap with a whip at the same time. But you do whatever you have to do to get the required response, then you go back to the gate you were in, and then you praise the horse for every stride that he takes on his own. Now, some people might say, well, that's really not fair to the horse. He slowed down. You should at least give him an aid first. But that comes under reactivity. This is just responsibility. And think about it. Once your horse knows the new rules, at the end of the day, he is going to be a lot happier with your legs doing nothing and him just motoring along on his own than you constantly nagging and spurring and using your legs and clucking at him and tapping him with the whip. That's a lot more annoying than you just sitting up there and letting your legs just drape around the horse's barrel like a wet towel.
Once you're in that energetic walk, I want you to take your legs away and see how long it takes him to slow down. See, he just slowed down. And when he realizes you're not going to be giving him any aids, see how long it takes for him to completely stall out. Okay, that will tell you how much you're taking on the horse's responsibility to keep going. So you have to change those rules. So what you're going to do is get him going again in that energetic walk. And then you're going to take your legs away, and the moment he slows down even a tiny, tiny bit, you're going to make a correction. You're not going to give an aid, you're going to make a correction. Now, the correction depends on the sensitivity of your horse. If he's really, really sensitive, you can give him a couple little bumps with your legs. If he's not really sensitive, you could give him some taps with the stick. If he's really lazy, you can do both. So it all depends on the character, the personality, the nature of your horse, how strong of a correction you're going to give when he didn't take responsibility for his gait. So now I'm going to take my legs away, and the second Moshi slows down, I'm going to give him a kick and really send him forward. Then I go back to the walk and I take my legs away. And every stride he takes, taking responsibility for his gait, I say, good walk. Remember, he should know these basic English words. Good walk, good walk. Good boy, Moshi, good.
So I hope you enjoyed that short video and that you learned something from it. And if you want some more information, and as far as when my next newsletter, next video newsletter is coming out, you can go to my website, which is just janesavoie.com, and sign up for the newsletter. Or you can follow me on Facebook, either under Dressage Mentor or Solve Horseback Riding Fears. See you later.